To grab hold to the microphone, got him nodding along. Maybe she'll save the world for me. Maybe she'll right my wrongs if I'm coming on too strong. Oh well, only way to tell is by saying just how I feel, and that's real. All that I need. feel like everything might turn out just alright. I know I'm lying to myself, pardon my wishful thinking. Still fly from head to trinkets, afraid of blinking. Can't even miss a second of the blessings. I'm living messy, like every minute is a gift, it's a pleasure. Let's get together, let's spin us a smooth forever. Wait, pick up your mood, I know I lack the direction. Skipped on class and a lecture, busy trying to get it together. Something clever, my notes are tethered to the reckless behaviors with good intentions. Smolder incense, good riddance to negative energy. Let peace, love, and serenity spill for me. None as ill as me, truth be told, barely real as me. How I let feelings loose on loose leaf. Murder the goose beat, shout to Mills on the cool keys. Ooh, she's feel like a cool breeze. Near the ocean tide, from the cove to the globe wide. With an open eye and a smile, feel like everything might turn out to be fine.
What's going on? What's going on? Type in all caps and you will get timed out. Give me that city, that gender, and that age. Rich millennials are more likely to be married. Homeowners. Rich millennials are more likely to be married and homeowners relative to their single peers. Uh-oh, he's talking about marriage again. Duh. What is one of the surest signs of success? Marriage. One of the surest ways to get from this class to the next? Marriage. One of the best ways to become rich? Marriage. Marrying well. Well taken. Man, why y'all always talk about marriage and stuff, man? Marriage and stuff. He ain't married. It didn't work for him. Why you keep on talking about that? You know, just cook these broads, man. Don't be talking about marriage and stuff, man. You know the only people get mad when I talk about marriage? The people who know they can't do it. People who know they know the stats, know they know the figures, know they know all the data. They just know they lack what it takes to be able to do it successfully. But let's talk, because today we're not going to get, no, I'm not going to say that. The question is this. The question is this. Are women, and today in particular, we're going to talk to the black women. I can only put women in the title, guys, because YouTube will smack my hand. YouTube will smack my hand if I put in black women. But today we're going to talk and ask the question, are black women good at marriage today? And don't run too far away, brothers, because I got a question for you too. But that's the question I'm going to ask. Are black women good at marriage today? Because if you look and saw the thumbnail, you saw a man standing on the beach, wonk, 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 with his shoulders kind of down, holding a bouquet of flowers. And you saw that woman just running down the aisle, running down the beach. What's she doing? Let's get a visual. This is what you saw in the thumbnail. Wonk, wonk, wonk. You saw the brother standing there, you know, suited and booted, done leveled all up and carrying on. And look at this chick right here. She got the Brazilian weave on. She is mad dashing down the beach. I mean, she just like, look at the money. She leaving money. When have you ever known a woman to leave money? She's like, yay! She is leaving. And he's just like, what happened? So, in conjunction with yesterday's broadcast and so many other broadcasts, SKC, I'm going to need you to be able to point out some of the highlights if you can. Email me some of the highlights because I just got it right here. Email me some of the highlights so I can kind of slice them in here. I want to go back on yesterday's show, okay? And yesterday's show, are women really good at evaluating themselves? I'm going to tell you this. As an image consultant, I can tell you that most women are not. Most women are not. Most people are not, but we're going to talk about women in this sector. And what we're not going to do in this conversation is we're not going to say not all, not all, not all. And then we're going to speak in generalities because, what I say is, broad generalities because it's a broadcast and it's broadly true for most people. But let's get into it. Wait a minute. What in the hell is going on? 450 people watching and we only have 178 likes. I know y'all need to get these likes up. I know we need to get the likes up to at least 250 because I want to get into this monologue. How many people look down in the description and see, do me a favor, in the comment section, I want you guys to look right down and type in the first number you see. What's the first number you see in the description? What is the first number you see in the description? Somebody type it for me. The first number you see in the description. Kellen Cash, what's up, buddy? You need to holler, man. Show's getting hot. First number. No, we're not going to do the intermission yet, but I need that first number. Thank you, Miss Whitney, for being the first one. Miss Fancy Langston. The first number you see is 26. 26. 26. 26, what is that? It's a nice waist size. 36, 24, 36. That's a good waist size. But what is 26? 26 is you should be celebrating your 1-year anniversary at 26 if you're a woman. But 26 relates to the percentage of black women that are married. 26% of black women are married. That means 3 out of 4 black women will never marry in their lifetime. They will go from their mama's belly to the world to taking a dirt nap and never ever have somebody drop a ring on their finger, drop to one knee and say, let's get married and have a big celebration and send invitations. Go look up Larry Graham. When we get married. They will never have Larry Graham drop one of them on their finger. They're just not. 3 out of 4. Those are pretty dire odds. There's a better than 75% chance that you, with all your super fine self out there, because all y'all so fine. Let y'all tell it. All y'all fine AF and but never get married. That's the stats. But see, what I need you to also ask, what's the second number? After the 26, what's the number under that? Because, the women over here, the FBI women over here, see, a lot of those women are going to be in that 26%. A lot of those women are going to be in that 26%. I got bleeping and teeping. What's going on? What's up, Cargill? What's the next number? Come on, somebody type the next number for me. The next number is 80. Miss Fancy, 80. Tony, 80. Candace, 80. 80, 80, 80, 80, 80. Well, 26 relates to the amount of the percentage of black women that will marry in their lifetime. But here's something. That 80% that 80 is the percentage of black women who file for divorce for their husbands. What? Yeah, 80%. You remember that 26% number? Well, of that 26% of black women to get married, 8 out of 10 of them are running away from their husbands. And they're running away like this. They're running away. They're running away. Well, they're running away like that lady on that picture, right? They're running away like this. filing for divorce at a higher rate than the unmarried rate. Ooh, if 74% of black women will never get married, but 80% of married black women are divorcing, you got to ask yourself a question. If you are the lowest number married and you are filing divorce at the highest rates in the world, are black women any good at marriage? Are y'all any good at this? I mean, don't. Let's talk to me, sis. I need to know. Because if you're one of the four, if you're one of the 1 out of 4 that does get married, you would think you wouldn't want to be leaving at a rate of 80%. Now, I know there are going to be people out there that say, hold on, fam. You don't understand. These men out here are beating these women into a bloody pulp. They over here, just all kind of stuff. Because you hear about ebony women who are being pew-pewed by their men all the time. They're just being off by their men because, ebony men are known to be some of the most violent, aggressive. We will just, they gotta leave. They gotta leave because if they don't, they are fear for their safety. Or it's because these dudes out here making babies all over the place and having kids left and right, cheating and adulterous and just so bad. But the stats say, 28% of black men in relationships cheat. But then it says 24% of black women cheat. So the numbers on infidelity in black men and black women are neck and neck. So, numbers are a tricky thing. So even if we say, okay, granted, let's just give you 50%. Let's say 50% of all divorces filed initiated by women, black women in this case, are for justified cause that no one in the world could say, there's no reason you shouldn't be doing that. That still means 4 out of 10 marriages, women are leaving. See, what the world tries to tell men is it's you is the reason why there are no marriages. Women want to get married. They want relationship. And it's y'all that are hold up. That's the world I grew up in. That's what I was told. But it baffled me that every time I ran into a man who was divorced or broke up, it was always the women leaving. Always, almost always. 80% of the time, the women were leaving. Right? Right? That's the stats. 26% married, 80% filing for divorce. Why are you filing for divorce? Why are you leaving your men, your husbands, not your homeboys, not your boyfriends, your legally married husbands? 70 is the next number. 70 is the next number. Anybody want to know what 70 relates to? Marriage is expensive. No, it's not, Evan. You just broke. Marriage ain't expensive. Marriage is inexpensive. Don't come in here talking crazy. Don't come in here showing that you broke, man. Evan, don't just be broke. Don't tip your hand to let the world know you broke. Saying marriage is expensive. 70. 70 relates to the years ago that the average 5, 6, and 7 woman would have been somebody's wife. See, all you women out there who are average and above average, see, in the way I allow women to rank themselves, people to rank themselves in my business, there is no number 7. And I will tell you why. Remember last night's show? That's why. Below average people always rank themselves at 7. Above average, yeah, that's right. And then it tends to be that attractive women tend to try to downplay themselves because they've been taught to be humble. But here's the net of it. 70 years ago, a lot of you women like those women last night, you'd have been married to somebody by now. I said this on Instagram earlier today. All these women out here who are 4s, 5s, and 6s, 70, 80 years ago, you'd have been married to a guy who's a 4, 5, 6, 7. And y'all have just had some 4, 5, 6, or 7 children. Y'all have lived the middle class or a lower class or a lower upper class life or middle class life. Yeah, y'all, we know what it was. You'd have been the big mama and grandpa, and nobody's rich, nobody's poor. You'd have had a house. One of the kids would have went to see. Back in the day, average folks didn't try to hold out for the best. Didn't try to hold out like that lady last night, thinking she was gonna get a what did you think you were gonna get, ma'am? Sharon Leo. With the humps and the bump and the braguettes and all that. Really thought she was just a dime piece. 7, no, 4. But 70 years ago, you couldn't have been this. You couldn't have held out that long. You would have gone ahead and made the choice. See, today we call it settle. No, I'm not going to call it settle. 70 years ago, you'd have just acted on reality. The reality saying, I look in the mirror. I'm average at best. Who am I kidding? I'm not going to get a millionaire husband. I'm going to get a guy who worked down at the plant. What are we talking about? 70 years ago, 750 people in this chat room. 500 of y'all would have been off married somewhere for years. Remember when Gigi called in yesterday talking about, all the white men that were married? And I said, what age, when they married? 70% of them married in their 20s and 30s. There you go. And the last number is 7. I think 7 relates to the eternal sevens. I have this theory called the eternal sevens. Follow me now. On a scale of 1 to 10, men rank women differently than women rank themselves. Yesterday was a great indication. But no matter what, the 8s, 9s, and 10s are pretty, fine, and hot, smoking dime piece. Those get taken out of the system quick. They're gone by the age of 23. They're gone by 23. They're married by 25. And they're married and having a kid by 25. So what happens if the 8s, 9s, and 10s are gone? You got to take the 8s, 9s, and so if these are the 8s, 9s, and 10s, and these are the 7s and below, if you take the 8, 9s, and 10s away, 7 is now the new 8, 9, or 10. And when you've been looking up at the 8, 9s, and 10s, all of a sudden now this is gone. Now you're getting all the attention of those men. And what happens? These women over here stay in the game too long, overvalue themselves, and then end up passing by suitable men that were more than, we're going to get into it. They pass up on men that they would have been lucky to have because they don't feel like they're good enough. Here's the problem with a lot of these eternal 7 women. You think you're better than the men that come at you, when honestly, if 70 years ago, you'd have been happy to get the men that come at you. That's this whole thing about not settling. Well, that's why 26% of you are married, because you're holding out for a man that's better than you. You don't qualify for that man. So when women are allowed to rank themselves, I don't let them use 7. You're either going to claim an 8 or claim a 6, because people that claim themselves as 7s tend to be less than. They just want to feel hotter than. Where are we going with this? Glad you asked. Are women good at marriage today? 26% married, 80% of those married women are filing for divorce. Those numbers make sense. And is the problem that we actually lack we lack enough high value men, or we don't have enough attractive women. Oh yeah, we are going there. Is the problem we don't have enough high value men, successful men, suitable men, Henrys, CIA, whatever you want to call it, men that can compete out there just like everybody else. I'm not talking about multimillionaires. I'm talking about men who make the kind of money that suits your looks. I said it. Men who make the kind of money that suits your looks. The average white man out here is making $50,000 a year, and an average white guy is married. The average black man is making $40,000 a year, and he's not. Is the problem we don't have enough high value men, or we don't have enough attractive women? And yeah, attractive. Means your face and your body. Nothing to do with your character, your degree, your money. No, none of that. Just, are you attractive? All that other stuff comes afterwards. What do we think? What do we think? I don't care if the light is weird. Deal with it, Negro. What do you think? Do you think we don't have? What is it? I want to hear from the folks. Do we have enough high value? Is it we need more high value men? Do we need more high value men, or do we need better looking women? I'm serious. I am dead serious. Do we need do we need higher value men? Is that the problem? How do we get that number from 26 up to 50? How do we double that? And then how do we get the divorce rate from 80%? And how do we get women from filing divorce at an 80% rate down to a 40% rate? What? At a 40% rate? Nah, man, you want to cut the divorce rates in half? Yeah. Because thank you, Supreme King Coon. See all you folks in the chat room talk about how marriage is going down in Western countries and feminism and this and that. Yeah. 2019, last year, marriage was at a 50-year high. 50-year high. Marriage last year was at one of the highest levels recorded in the last 50 years. That's what all this feminism and Me Too and everything else. And the divorce rate has been cut in half since 1990. Yet in the black community, the marital rate continues to fall, the divorce rate continues to increase, and the rates at which women are filing for divorces are increasing. What's the problem, folks? What's the problem? If would black men need to go out and build Wakanda before you decide you ain't gonna, I could hear that. I could hear that if these women weren't already getting married. I want you guys to I want you just to listen to this. Think back to a lot of the shows you've heard. And how many women have you heard on my show who have been married or actually proposed to? How many of them say the man left them? What percentage of the women that have been on my show have been married and they say that their husband divorced them, or they've been in a committed long-term relationship, engaged, and then they say the men left them? What percentage? Let's get it up. Now, as we go ahead and allow that to clock in there, I'm going to, man, we only got two don't, man, please. Y'all are not going to do this. No. We're going to have to get the likes up, because here's what we're going to have. I know there's some women that think I'm out full of crap. I know that I'm not getting this. We're going to need to get the likes up to over 600. Well, actually over 550. Get the likes up, people. Get them up, get them up, get them up. And we're going to need at least, that was one. We need 9 more before we open the call line. Let the ladies sound off. Let the gentlemen sound off. Keep it respectful. You ain't going to pimp me. We need to get this sorted out. What's the problem?
In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right. No, it's not hard to fool me. No, 'cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yes. Yeah, either way, I follow. No need to say. Where we are heading now, babe, I follow to the edge of it all, to the edge of it all. So tell your good lies, 'cause I'll buy no matter what, yeah. Susceptible now, before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell your good lies, 'cause I'll buy no matter what. Ooh, susceptible now, before the moment flies. It's not a problem, no, 'cause I know what I'm getting into. Yes. Yeah.
Come on, let's get them up.
Nothing can stop me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to.
Oh, I'm dead ass serious. Play the Jeopardy music right here. Do 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 do. What's going on, O'Shea? This is not a. Let's get this straight. Let's get this straight. This is not a drag. Okay. Let me say something I've been hearing a lot. Bashing women, bashing women, bashing women. Stop bashing black women. Stop bashing black women. I think I have proven that I am not about bashing black women or any woman. What we need to get to is we need to get to some truth between you guys, the audience. Because when women call into my show, rarely do you hear a woman say that she doesn't want to be married. Rarely do you hear a woman say that she doesn't want to be married. I don't recall here. I only heard one, and that's because I think she had recently been divorced. So, ladies, if you want to be married, who are you going to be marrying? You're going to be marrying somebody that looks like you, more than likely. All right. Well, then what is the problem? If you want to get married and the men aren't asking you to marry them, and you ask men, do they want to be in relationships or married, and they say yes, what's the problem? Do we not have enough marriageable men Or do we not have enough attractive women? Because here's what's not going to happen. I will tell you this. Men will not marry a woman just to be getting married. A man needs to be attracted to you for the act to work. Let's just put it that way. For biology to work, a man needs to be attracted to you. Now I know that there'll be people that say, "Well, in order for a woman to work, she needs to be attracted to you too." Not so. Not so. In order to reproduce, a woman does not have to reach climax. Never has. That's not biologically how that's designed. It helps. Women have women picking mates on looks first is a late 20th century concept. Women traditionally have picked men based upon competence. But the question is, are you hot enough for a man to pick? And the question is, are you man enough to pick a hot woman? Oh, that's a balancing act. See, you're not gonna call in here and start talking about how these women are all busted, dusted, because I'm gonna ask you what you're looking like. What you're looking like. If you call in here talking about you making $20 an hour and these women is no, bro, you can't better take care of yourself. Understand where you are. Is the problem that we don't have enough high value men or enough attractive women? See, I want to hear from the high value men and the women who are attractive. I don't want to hear from the guys who are not high value. And I don't want to hear from the women who aren't attractive enough to get the high value men they say they want. See, let's talk about that. You don't get to get a high value man because you say you are a 7. The world has to say you're a 7. When he walks out with you on his arm, the world has to say you're a 7. Not all done up and made up or whatever. No, we talk about natural. With your own hair. What did I say yesterday? One of the biggest things the average woman could do to become more attractive is to drop the weight. I need you guys to be on topic. Amy. Amy, Daisy, where are these names coming from? Y'all black folk. Amy, you're up. Or I'm gonna put you back in the chat, back in the waiting room. Audio in 4, 3, 2, 1. So yeah, Amy, what's up? Hello. If you type in all caps, you will be timed out. Do not type in all caps. What's wrong with y'all?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can now.
Yay, finally. Sorry.
What's going on?
I'm good. I was just going to say that I'm a younger woman and I've been watching your channel for
I,
the past 2 weeks. Thanks to quarantine, I found you.
okay, hold on. Do me a favor. Are you on Bluetooth or are you on the speakerphone?
Actually, I think you can hear my phone right now. Should I turn it off?
Yeah, you need to turn off the
Is it
YouTube channel in the
now better?
background, and you need to make sure you're just on the Zoom call and not moving around. That means the audio won't pick up anything else except you talking.
Alright.
So what you got for me?
I don't really have much. I watched your broadcast yesterday, and it was sad to watch, especially with the whole rating thing. And I've been trying to become not become honest, but just be real with myself because I have expectations, I have needs and wants, and I want to be the person to attract that. I want to be like good enough for that,
What do you
basically.
want to attract?
Uh, a high value man, someone that can lead, someone that can
Okay.
provide and protect.
Where are you from?
I am culturally
Mm,
African. I'm Nigerian, but I live in Canada.
okay. Have you called in before?
I haven't.
Okay.
First
And how old
time.
are you?
I'm 21.
21. Are you in college or are you working? What's going on?
And, I'm in school to be a practical nurse, registered practical nurse.
Okay. And you said you want to be married. Well, good. Um,
Yeah, well, a lot of obviously online and like the part of the internet that I'm in, this is very normal. But in like in school, my friend groups, I'm like the oddball. I'm the one who dates men, 10 to 15 years older. And yeah,
okay. So let me ask you some questions. Okay, how tall are you?
I'm 5'6",
And what dress size?
size 4,
Size 4. And about how much do you weigh?
120,
So, I mean, if you want to
120.
be married, and you said you're going to school to be a practical nurse.
Yes,
Ooh.
2 years program.
Okay.
I couldn't get into like the 4-year nursing program, but this is a stepping stone
Okay.
if I do decide to
Oh,
like go forward.
okay. You a stepping stone to what? A career in nursing?
I would like to. My ideal job would be to be a midwife.
Okay. So, how many children do you want to have when you're married?
Ideally 3.
And do you want to ever have to work to be able to? Do you ever want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're a wife? After you're pregnant?
No.
All right. So let's get right to the. Let's get right to it. You want to be a
Okay.
midwife, but that's just a passion project. You don't want to pay a damn bill after you find out you're pregnant, right?
Um. Yes. I'm saying, like for me, the whole thing with nursing is just to be. It's just to be able to contribute to my family, my
Right. But
community, and yeah.
exactly, a passion project.
Right.
It's
Yes.
not that you
Perfect.
got to
Yeah.
pay a bill. Okay.
Exactly.
So,
Yes. You're right.
so if
Yeah.
you're 21, um, do you find that your European, your white counterparts are able to find a husband at your age and your kind of background and marry just fine?
Um. My worldview isn't that broad.
Well, I would tell you
Because
they are.
I
I
live
would tell
in
you they
Toronto.
are.
Okay. Okay.
I would tell
Okay.
you they
Yes.
are.
Okay.
So, number one thing is that you said the group you hang out with, right?
Mhm.
Stop hanging out with that group. That's gonna if you want to get married and you damn sure you want to marry well, you're gonna have to get rid of the women you're hanging around with who think you're an oddball, and then you're gonna have to start either running solo or hanging around women who are marriage minded because
I am.
marriage minded men do not like their women to be around single minded women.
Mm, okay.
Well, you
I heard what you said, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I was just going to say that I pretty much do that now because yeah, like I go out by myself for the most part.
okay,
Because like going to, like transitioning to college, people moved away. I'm still at home. My college is not too far away from where I live,
right?
so it's just a good situation for
Your
me.
mother? Are you raised by your
So
mother and
but
father in the house?
I go out by myself.
The mother, you're an only child,
Yes.
and your mother and father are married.
Not Yes, not the only child. I'm the last of 4
Okay.
children,
Any?
but my parents are, yeah.
Okay. So you're the baby of the family. Any older brothers?
2 older brothers and 1 older
Are your
sister,
older brothers
like the
married?
top
Are
2.
your older brothers married?
Um,
What is that noise
older
going on in the
brother.
background? What are you doing?
Oh no, is this better?
That's okay. So,
Okay,
how is your father?
it's my
Okay,
earphones. I'm
and so
so
how is your father helping facilitate this marriage that you want to be in?
good question. Not. I've basically learned everything by myself. Um,
Push the brakes.
not.
Push the brakes. Okay, hold up. Mama and daddy are married, right?
Yes, mom and dad are okay. So I can. Can I give you a quick like synopsis of
Yes,
the
because that's what
history
I'm
of
going to
my
get to
family?
anyway.
So mother and father, they had. I was like, I wasn't planned for. So when my parents had me, they were much older, and my mom moved to Canada. Um, and I grew up with my grandmother, like my childhood from like, I don't know, toddler to 10. And then I moved in with my sis. Um, I had a very,
All right.
my
So when I
grandfather
ask if
was
your
in my
mother and
life.
father are
So
married, I'm trying to understand if you're raised in a traditional kind of family.
right,
Hold on, just a second.
right
It-
now, my mom is remarried.
okay.
Right now,
All
my
right.
mom is
Okay.
remarried.
Okay.
So
So when someone's asking if your mom and dad are married, they mean right now. They don't mean if they were.
okay,
And
okay. Well, my dad passed
okay.
away last
All right.
year, and my mom is
Then
remarried. So
stop.
yeah.
How much have you? Were you raised by a strong masculine presence?
I would say yes, and that would
Who?
be my
And
grandfather.
how old is he?
My
And how old
grandfather.
is he?
I don't know. He passed away when I was 10.
Okay, then no, you weren't.
Okay.
How old are you?
I thought I
No,
was,
you're
but
not. You're
I'm 21.
okay.
I'm
You're
21.
21. Your father
Yes.
did not raise you. Your parents allowed you to be raised by your grandparents. Okay, right? Okay.
Yes.
I don't need to
Yes.
know, but that's already problematic. Then
Okay.
your grandparents are older than your parents, so they had a baby, and you only had a man raise you until you were 10. And then since then, what what man has been guiding you?
Okay. I wouldn't, so the culture that I come from,
That
a lot of men, even the
I just
ones
need to
at
know the man
home,
that's been guiding you. I don't need to know about the culture. I need to know about the man that's been guiding you.
I just wanted to let you know that I can't say I have one because the men are absent. In my case, they've been absent.
But
My sister, I lived with my sister and her husband,
okay,
and he guided me a little bit.
ma'am. Did you call in to get my opinion on something, or do you want to give me a story?
I'm honest. I'm just trying to answer your
Okay,
question
I can, and I'm
honestly.
telling you right now, even by the way you're interacting with me, you have not had a man raise you or over you.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just telling you, because you're
All right.
21, I'm 51. And there's no way that a 21-year-old woman should be engaging with a 50-year-old man. When I start talking, you should stop.
I was trying to answer your
But when
question
I start talking and
about
I keep
if
saying, ma'am, you should not keep, okay, you can hear me, but you're trying to
yes.
talk through me. Where
I
do they do that?
okay. I'm not trying to be
I'm
rude or
asking you, where do
disrespectful.
they do that? Where do women who get the kind of outcome you think you say you want, that a woman 30 years younger than a man talks through them?
Mhm. I'm sorry if you think I'm trying to do that.
I'm
I'm
not
just trying to
asking.
answer your
I
question.
get that, but what I'm trying to get you to understand is, one, you called in here, and I don't need to know all your story. I need to get the information the way I need to get it. But what I've already surmised is
All
this:
right.
you didn't have a man raising you. You didn't have
Yes.
a man raising you, and it's not about your culture. It's about your family, and it's a complex situation. Whatever, the issue is still on you. You can want to get
Okay.
married, but what are you going? When was the last time you had a serious relationship with a man?
A year ago,
And how long did it last?
it lasted 1.5 years.
1.5 years. It was a year and a half. So 2.5 years
Yeah.
ago, you were 19.
Yes.
You were a man for a year and a half, right? How
Mhm.
old was that man?
Um, I was 19, he was 23.
Okay. And why didn't you guys get married?
Well, like the relationship went sour after he was like he could not meet the requirements or the standards that we set at the beginning of the
What does
relationship
that mean?
anymore.
What does that mean? You were 19.
So,
What
yeah, so
standards is
when
that?
he asked me to be his
Uh
girlfriend,
huh.
I
Were you in college at the time?
um
That's a yes or no question, man.
mm, I
Okay.
was, but I
So
was at uni at the time.
what
Yeah.
what standards did a 19-year-old woman have?
I basically just I'm trying to like put myself back in the mindset because it was like a serious conversation over dinner. Like when he asked me to be his girlfriend, I was like, "Are you sure you're going to be able
You're
to
only
meet my
20, you're
needs?"
only 21 years old. If you can't remember
hmm
what happened in a long-term relationship 2 years.
I basically asked him like I mean like before we I said yes to being his girlfriend. I let him know because he's also Nigerian, and Nigerian men understand the whole idea of providing for their women.
What the
And
wait,
I was
hold
just
on, hold on,
asking
hold on,
him
hold
if
on,
he
hold
was
on, hold on,
ready.
hold on, hold on. What are you doing letting anybody know anything? You're 19, he's 23. Why are you telling him what he needs to do? See, what I'm trying to understand is that if you even understand what it is you want. And what it sounds to me like you were in a relationship for a year and a half with a guy and you said he can't meet these standards. What I hear a lot from
No,
women,
I
oh,
said he wasn't able to. That's why it went
listen,
sour. He wasn't able to.
if you talk over me one more time, we're going to have a problem.
Okay, I hope not.
He wasn't able to meet those standards. What standards? Give me some specifics. Money?
Money and time.
Money.
Money and
What kind of
time. He
money?
wasn't
What
able
did
to.
he need to make money? What did he need to make Why did you need his money?
I didn't need his money, but I definitely wanted that to feel secure
What did
in
you
a
what you weren't
relationship.
his
Like that's one
wife?
of yes, I
Why are
wasn't
you
his
entitled to
wife.
your boyfriend's money?
I'm not entitled to
So
it. He
when
basically offered it up.
no, okay, let's back up. Let's back up.
Okay.
Boyfriend, girlfriend.
hmm
There are no standards. There's just fidelity. We just decide whether we're monogamous or non-monogamous. Boyfriends don't pay.
But in
Listen, because no one taught you this stuff, so let me teach it to you. Boyfriends don't pay
hmm
your rent, lights, phone, anything. They pay for dates. That's it.
hmm
That's it. When somebody's going to start meeting your standards is after your last name is Miss Samuels. And for a year and a half, were
okay,
you
but
sexually active?
yeah, we were sexually
All
active in
right.
a relationship.
So you were involved, sexually active, and as the story was going to get to, basically he needed to make more money and spend more time with you than you wanted. So you broke it off with him. Fine.
He actually broke it
Well,
off with
okay.
me, but
You cool. He broke it off with you.
okay, can I say
Not
something
really.
about
Not really. Not really. Because we're going on to the next point. What
don't you think rational self-interest is important? What you
tie?
we said at the beginning of the
What does
relationship
that mean?
anymore?
What does that mean? You were 19. What
Yeah,
standards
so
is
when
that?
he asked
Ty, you need to mute the YouTube channel in the background. Amy, I muted you and I went on to somebody else because I don't do that. And I don't really honestly, young lady, I don't need to know what you think about anything. You have no one guiding you. And it sounds to me like you want something that you're not anywhere close to qualifying for. And I cannot imagine any man worth his salt putting up with such a bullheaded woman. I don't care how you look. You can't even conduct yourself on a phone call. Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi. How are
I
you?
am well.
I know my screen name says Ty,
Mhm.
but my name is Candy.
Okay, Candy, what you got for me?
I was just calling in because I started listening to you
hmm
about a week now, and some of the videos I've tapped into, you like really opening my eyes to a lot of things, and
Is that good or
yeah,
bad?
so it's a big wake up call. But I just feel like my situation is a little bit different
hmm
because I'm 28 years old. I got married when I was 21. Me and my husband was married when I was 21. He went to the military. I had a kid, and when he re-enlist, he went to Germany, and
Was he in the military
he
before you
told
got
me
married?
no, he was in the military when we got
Okay,
married.
go ahead.
Yeah, so he re-enlisted, and the plan was for him to go to Germany and for me and my son to follow, him. But once he got to Germany, he called me. He was just like no, he didn't, he don't want to be married anymore. It's too much responsibility and things like that. And I was and and then he got with somebody else, and I asked him again, like, do you want to work this out? I asked him for like, I think I was stuck like asking him for about 2 years, and he's just like, no, no.
Okay.
So I was just like, okay, like I just accepted it after a while. Like, okay, so you don't want to be with me, you want to be with the person that you met in Germany. So
Okay.
he filed for divorce and things like that. So now I'm just out here like with a kid,
hmm
trying to navigate the world and trying to figure out
Well, let me
like,
ask you a couple of questions.
okay,
How old were you when you got married?
21,
How old was your husband?
22.
Okay. And is he the father of your child?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, because you said that my son. You didn't say our son.
Oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. That's my mistake.
Well,
I shouldn't say that. Our
well,
son,
I
our
mean,
son. Yes.
that unfortunately it's very common. So you were 21, he was 22. You got
hmm
married, and then he joined the military after you got married.
No, he joined the military before we got married.
All righty. So did you join in my show when I talked about military wives? Or the women you should
No, I
avoid?
didn't. I
The
missed
women
it.
you
I'll
should
have to go
avoid?
back.
Because you fall in that category, one of those women. I said, yeah. So your husband's joined the military before you got married.
hmm
All right. And then you got married. And then he got deployed to Germany.
Yeah,
All right. So let me ask you one very simple question. Why were you not deployed with him?
because I was trying to be a good wife.
Uh-huh.
He had a plan. We're both from New York.
Okay.
So his plan was to go save BAH, the thing they get in the military,
Mm-hmm.
to save this money so we can have extra money.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
agreed
So
to the plan. I said,
let me
okay, that's fine.
stop.
hmm
You were married, right?
hmm
That means you were one flesh.
hmm
Why is half of your flesh in Germany? And you're going to tell me that you guys had a plan and it was about money. Okay, I'll accept that. How
hmm
did you feel about that?
I trusted him. I
Okay.
I believed in his plan because every time.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, were there any fidelity issues in the marriage were there any fidelity issues in the
No,
relationship prior to the marriage? So,
no, actually,
the way
no.
this story is being framed is
hmm
you guys both got together young.
hmm
He was in the military and you were doing what?
I was a stay-at-home wife
Okay,
at that
before you
time.
got married, what were you doing?
Oh, before I got married, I had like a job doing like what was it called? The CNA.
Okay, so Ooh, right. You're in murderer's row
Yeah.
for everything I've talked about. A nurse. You're a
Yeah.
nurse, and he went to the
Mhm.
military. Okay.
Mhm.
And the way you're saying this is you were a nurse. He was in the military. He got deployed to Germany. He went over to Germany, and what you're saying is after you were already married, you had a child by this time, right?
Yeah.
Then he went to Germany, and then he made the phone call like Harlem Nights. Hey, yo, Gladys, I ain't coming home no more.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gotta ask.
Mhm.
There were no problems in the marriage before he left.
Um. Well, we was when we were stationed in California. I would say there was
Okay,
problems
sis.
because
Okay, sis. You got to be honest with me, because I'll
yeah.
talk to you. But you just painted
Okay.
as though you're the innocent victim and you did nothing. You was
No, no, no.
blindsided.
I'm not innocent.
But
I'm
the
not
way,
innocent.
but I need you to understand. Just like you didn't
Mm.
hear that you said my child, the way you tell
Yeah.
the story. See, you're used to telling this story to people,
Yeah.
and you're used to people just, and you're probably used to telling it to women. How often do you tell
Yeah.
this story to men that ain't trying to fuck you?
I don't really talk to
There
men.
you go. So you telling it to a man, I'm gonna hear something different than women.
Okay.
The way you've told that story made it look like you were just the innocent. That's why I said, was there any infidelity before the marriage or any issues? Because people don't, loving husbands don't typically just say, stay here, wife, and I'm gonna go over here and we're gonna stack money, and then I'm gonna go over here. Then all of a sudden he met some voodoo pussy in Germany and called up and said, hey, oh, by the way, you got a son or a daughter? You said it's a son, right?
A
He
son.
don't.
Yeah.
A guy just don't call back and say, you know what? This woman's so good. You keep all that money and my son. I'm still over here. That typically doesn't happen without some issues. I'm not saying that
Mhm.
he was justified. I'm just saying there's more to it.
Yeah.
So you guys had issues in California.
Yes.
That's where you were
Yes.
before.
Say that
You were
again.
in California. You were both in California
Yeah.
before you moved to Germany.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I would say going back. Um, to anybody listening to this show, don't split your family. There's no amount of money that makes that make sense. You got to be close enough to relate. Long distance relationships don't work. First mistake, putting distance in an already troubled marriage. Okay?
Yes.
I can't address that. That's all I will say. I'll do it this way. He doesn't sound the best, but how long you been, how old is your son now?
He's 8.
All right. And you and his father doesn't want to be back with you. He's doing his own thing.
Yeah.
All right. And you're in what city? I mean, you're in California?
I'm, no, no, no. I moved back closer to New York. I'm in the outskirts of Philadelphia.
Okay, you're in Philly. Do you have any support
Yeah.
in Philadelphia?
No. It's just me by myself.
Why did you move to Philadelphia?
To go to school.
To become what?
I just I was following a criminal justice degree because I want to become an officer,
What kind of officer?
police officer.
I made a show about you this week. It's called The Women You Should Avoid. I
Oh,
bullshit you not. People in the chat room I'm gonna read you the notes off of of some of the things I said. Avoid these kind of women. Let me run them down. Women you should avoid. Uh, Ex cops, military, or attorneys. We're married to them or they are this. Okay?
okay.
Those are uh,
Yes.
nurses, actors, actresses, nail techs. So you got the military, you got the cop, and you got the nurse piece in there. Um, so just know that guys are going to ask these questions. Are you? Did you finish the program? Are you? What are you doing right now with yourself? Are you about to become a cop, or are you just kind of floating out there in the world?
Floating.
All right,
I finished my
all right.
school. I
So where are
finished
mom and dad?
the my mother passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and when my mom passed away, my father he checked out.
Okay. Where's so dad is where?
He's in the Bronx.
Any brothers and sisters?
I have 2 biological brothers that I wasn't raised with.
All right. So you're just out there by yourself raising a boy.
Yes.
All right. Let's get some demographics. Height. How tall are you?
I'm 5'7".
Weight.
I'm 128.
Dress size.
Between a 2 and a 4, depends on where I
All
shop.
right. And if you had to rate yourself, if I had to rate you, where would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? Face.
To be
Yep.
honest, I really have low self-esteem, so I think I'm a 4.
Okay. Do people tell you you're pretty?
Yeah, but I don't believe it. So,
Uh, you don't have to believe it, but do people tell you you're pretty? Have you been told you're pretty your entire life?
um, sometimes, yeah, sometimes it's not like all the time, but people like if it's brought up, they will say they think I was pretty.
Okay. All right. First things first. How are you taking care of yourself as far as money?
Um, he sends me money.
But how are you taking care of yourself?
Temp jobs, temp
And he
jobs, but not
and
making
your
a
ex
whole
husband
lot.
is where?
He's in Germany.
Is there any reason he doesn't have the son?
Oh, I asked him to to take care of the son so I can get myself together, but he said he can't.
Is he still active duty? Is he still active?
Yeah.
Is he on child support?
Yeah, I just did it. I just did it like a month ago.
All right. Um,
I only did it because he said he
I,
couldn't take him.
well,
Yeah.
he should be paying for his son. I mean, he's in the military. Okay. Um, there's some therapy that's needed here. I can't
Hmm.
address this wholly because you have family issues, you got a broken marriage, but here's the thing, you have a son and you're working a
Yes.
temp job and you're getting money when your ex from Germany sends it.
Hmm.
You have no skills.
No.
Uh, and you're raising the most vulnerable boy on the planet.
Yes.
First off, you got to be able to survive. Um, Before dating or anything else like that, you got to do something to be making more than minimum wage. What happened to the
Yes.
police officer thing?
Oh yeah, I'm in the process of applying. That's what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
I finished my 60 credits, so now I'm just applying
Okay. Um,
and seeing what they say back.
oftentimes, oftentimes women are out there uncovered, not listening to any man, like the previous caller. When
Hmm.
there's no man leading women, you're all over the place.
Yes.
And um, I would suggest if you're in Philadelphia, state, are you getting any kind of government assistance?
Yeah, I just applied for when the
Th-
pandemic happened.
Then you need to also look at government. You need to look at a not a social worker, but a therapist. There's some psychological work you need to do.
Okay.
That's what I would look into. Um, we all have issues, but there are too many gaps here, and obviously a YouTube show, the life coach, image consultant. I can't really address all that, but more than anything else, you got to get yourself stable, and you got to be able to cover and protect this boy.
Yes.
And that's kind of where it is. So I don't know if there's anything I can really do to assist you, but appreciate you calling in. Don't have any more babies, I'll tell you that much.
Oh no, I won't.
All
I already made that decision.
right. All right then. Thanks a lot.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.
All right.
Bye.
Amy, I'm going to try this one more time. Maybe you've gotten yourself together and you can understand and see how the previous caller conducted herself and she wasn't talking over me. She actually tried to get some assistance. Now, if you want to talk, you can unmute yourself. We can try this again.
Okay. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So my first point was this: that you haven't had to listen to male leadership. You weren't raised by a man, and typically when women, especially black women in this country or in North America in the West, don't have black male leadership, you buck against that kind of stuff. And the kind of man you're talking about, you want
Mm-hmm.
high value men, they want submission and cooperation. You were asking
Mm-hmm.
me about, you were about to ask me about some, what were you going to ask me about accountability or whatever? What were you?
No, we were talking about, the needs and wants that I stated to like before I agreed to becoming his girlfriend. And you were like, oh, if you're not married, you're not supposed to, have requirements and stuff. And I was asking, isn't rational self-interest like important, especially as a woman? You're supposed to look out for yourself
Rational, yeah,
and
but rational. It's irrational to think you're entitled to anything more than a date. What's rational?
but
What?
this
Okay, you asked. Listen, what is
okay.
rational about me paying your light bill, phone bill, groceries, car note, any of that?
I never asked for all of that. I never
What
said I
did you?
asked for my because I don't want
What did you
I don't
ask
pay
him to pay
rent. I
for?
don't
What did you need his money for then?
um basically my upkeep because when I dating and I don't know the type of experiences that I have dating, I have men offering when I go out, men pay for my meals. With people that I date casually offer to pay for my upkeep,
Upkeep.
and
What
I'm
does that mean?
thinking,
See, dating meals. That's one thing.
hair, nails.
Okay,
Okay,
so
hair, nails, makeup, dresses for dates,
hold on,
heels.
hold
That's
on,
what I
hold
mean
on,
by
hold
my
on. Okay,
upkeep.
okay. You expected a 20, how old? 3?
He was 23,
You
yes.
expect a 23-year-old to be paying for your hair, nails, dresses, and that's not rational.
Okay. Um,
It's not. Do you know why?
because he's not my husband.
No. More than that. What was this young man doing when you met him?
He had just graduated from college.
Right. And did he
He's
have
like
student loan debt?
he no student
Did he
debt.
have a job?
Um,
Did he have, was he, huh?
when I met him, he was in the process of applying.
Right.
Like he was applying. He had just graduated.
Right. He had just graduated. And then during your time, he had just graduated. Did he subsequently find employment?
He did.
Right.
He
And then
did.
he started working in his career field, right?
He did.
And then
He had.
you expected this man who had been in college just like you to all of a sudden go into his new career and pay for your hair, nails, shoes, and dresses.
Can I say that he was already doing this? Like he was doing this. Like
Okay.
he was doing this consistently. I was like I'm a lot like I was telling him because I know I wouldn't say high maintenance, but I'm medium maintenance. And I was like, are you sure you're gonna be able to do like everything? And because um I was gonna say something earlier, but it slipped my mind
So let's
again.
go down that path. He was doing it. So however he was
He
making
was
money, so
doing
however,
it,
and then he stopped. Did he stop?
and yes, he stopped and he kept making promises
Whoa.
and he kept pushing back and pushing
Okay,
back.
so let me.
And
So
that's what I was saying
okay,
about he broke up with me.
okay. So question: he had done this, and then he stopped. Why was this
Yes.
such a big deal to you?
It wasn't okay, can I it was the lies. It was the lies and the I wouldn't call it betrayal because it wasn't a huge betrayal. But it was just he wouldn't be upfront with me. It was almost as if he didn't want to tell me no. He just kept pushing things like, like, oh, I'm getting paid this Friday, I'm getting paid. I'm like, oh yeah, and then something like, like he was just working a lot.
So
He was working a
wait. So the way you're telling this story now is this guy was paying for hair, nails, dresses, shoes. I don't know how often that stuff came up, but then he stopped. And when he stopped, did you ask him to continue? Or why he stopped?
We I knew why he stopped. Yeah, we had the yes, we
And
talked
why did
about
he
it.
stop?
He was saving for a
Okay.
car
He was saving for a
to
car.
move
So,
and to move.
okay. And to move. So,
Hmm.
rational. And yet you still
Yes.
expected him to do this?
I did not. I knew
Okay.
at one
So if you did
point
not
that
expect him to do it, where are you saying he told you to go do it? Are you trying to say that he because what are you trying to basically say he said, "Oh no, go out and shop and I'll give you the money back."
no, no. Okay, so I would say that there was a lot of broken
Like
promises
what? Give me
in
some
the span of
specifics.
like three
Give me some
months.
specifics. Give me some broken promises.
Like, okay, for example, saying that we're gonna go
Go
out
out where?
this this this
Go out
weekend, somewhere
where?
nice,
Okay.
an upscale
Uh-huh.
restaurant. Maybe the bill would be like like
Okay.
oh yeah,
Okay. And then what
I mean,
happened? And you didn't go?
and then it would not
All
happen.
right.
It would
You
not
said you
happen
but
because
hold
he had
on.
a part-time
Hold
job.
on.
Okay.
He said we're going to go to an upscale restaurant and then it did not happen. Okay.
Something something like that. Something like, okay, I'm going to help you get your hair done. Let's say I went.
Jesus H. Christ. I'm gonna help you out. Let me go ahead and just go ahead and do this with you. Hey, Amy, go ahead and unmute you. Amy, let me tell you
Hello?
right now, you're full of shit. Let me tell you why you're full of shit.
Okay.
If a man, you know, this man is not rich, and he had paid his way and did whatever, whatever, and then all of a sudden he didn't have the money, but he said we're gonna go to an upscale restaurant, and then it didn't happen. If it didn't happen, did he have to go to work? Did he cancel? Did he say, well, what happened? Why didn't you go to the restaurant in
I
this
was tr-
situation?
I was trying to
I don't need
like
all of it. Just
finish, but
get to the point, man, because I got other people.
I said because he had a part-time
So
job
he had
and a
another so
full-time
he had to
job.
work.
So he was
So he
okay,
had
so
to work. No,
he got
ma'am, he
into
had to work and that's why you didn't go. Yes or no?
he had to
All
work.
right then. So he made plans for you. He said we're gonna go, but work took precedence and he went to work. So that's a problem?
This
I
happened
don't give
over a
a
long
shit. Is
period
that
of
a
time.
problem? See, this is what's wrong with you young, flighty, foolish ass women. This guy sounds like he was trying to do his level best and nothing was good enough for you. Money does not come out of trees, but again, not being raised around any men, you think just because you're cute, maybe you suck a good, well, anyway, look, chick, he sounds like he's better
Hmm.
off not having you.
Okay.
Yeah, because you sound like a whole headache. A man was giving money to you that he didn't have. Then when he started working, he still tried. But he had to get a job and a part-time job to get his career and stuff started because he couldn't keep your shoes on and your dresses on and your makeup done for a woman that ain't his wife. All of a sudden there was a defect in his character. Gentlemen, avoid these kind of climbers, gold diggers. This is the chick you avoid. This is the chick you avoid. The one that has no man in her life, ain't nobody telling her. Yeah, this is side chick, permanent. This one that bust down, gonna be on OnlyFans, sugar baby wanna be. No, ma'am, no, ma'am, no. You're not gonna run this guy down like he did. You can't say this dude did anything other than not be as rich as you needed him to be. Men are not ATMs, ma'am. And what did you do other than show up?
I
I don't need to hear it. What did you
I
do
don't think
other than
men are
show up on a
ATMs.
date? What did you do other than show up on a date, look cute, and absorb his money? And then when he couldn't
What do
have,
you think I'm supposed to
next
do?
one on, yeah, I don't, no, 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 no. Just, whoa, whoa. Oh, yeah. What's going on? Hey, miss. What's going on?
Hello, how are
I'm
you?
well.
Hi. So, I did have a question. I've been watching you, actually binge watching you today.
Hmm.
So I just found your channel and I am trying to become more of a high value woman that I feel I should be and I am working
Okay.
towards. Um, my question is, I've had plenty of high value men in my past. However, as you've put it in some of your videos, I haven't been able to close the deal because I usually self-sabotage.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out how can I avoid being having, I guess, imposter syndrome while I'm dealing with men that see value in me, but I somehow don't see it in myself.
Okay. So, how old are you?
I'm 29.
29. And how tall are you?
I'm 5'5",
Dress size?
128.
Mm.
I'm sorry. I'm so used to you saying the
Uh,
pounds. I'm 128 and my dress size is a 5.
Okay. And then what would I rank you if I saw you? Scale of 1 to 10. No sevens.
I would say a lot of men give me a 9. I could provide a picture, but I kid you not, that's what people say.
Yeah,
But
you're gonna
again,
provide me
I
a
do
picture.
have imposter
Yeah, you can
syndrome.
provide me a picture. But okay. So, and what area of the country are you in?
I'm in the US in the Midwest,
Are you in a major city, like an international city? Oklahoma City, Chicago,
Chicago.
Chicago. And do you want
Yes.
to be married?
Absolutely.
Y-
But in your videos, I have noticed that I think one of my problems as well is that I haven't seen that example in real life. So I get a little nervous about it, especially the last time I was
What
offered. I don't feel like I really deserve it.
what do
So
you
go ahead.
mean? Somebody offered to marry you?
Yes, my last boyfriend, he was a high value male. He did ask for my hand in marriage in front of my family. I said yes, but 2 weeks went past and I did start to act very unreasonable, and I kind of threw that
Okay.
out.
And is your dad in your life?
No, he is
All
not.
right. So, um, raised by mom,
I'm
raised
sorry.
by your mother.
Yes,
Did you
I
go?
am.
Did you graduate from college?
Yes, I did. I graduated from a major university in
And
finance, but I do not work in
do you have a
finance.
graduate degree?
I have a bachelor's
Yes.
degree.
Okay. So, first things, have you ever had any professional counseling?
Yes, I have, and I'm currently in counseling right now.
And is there anything that you're taking current meds for, like Prozac, Zoloft, any depression, anything like that?
No, I'm not taking current meds, but I have had a few breakthroughs with my counselor,
So if
therapist.
and only if you want to disclose, I mean, uh,
Sure.
anything dealing with attachment, abandonment, acceptance.
Yes, yes, abandonment
Right
issues.
there, you go. Abandonment.
Hmm.
All right. So not to get, I'll let your counselor do what he does. Um,
Sure.
now, wanting to be, why do you want to be married?
Well, I would like to have children someday, and I've always saw myself with a family and with a husband. Um, but for me, sometimes it feels like a pipe dream.
Okay, you want to have children. And you always saw yourself as a
Yes,
family. Okay.
and a
Okay.
husband. Yes.
Anything else you want to add to that?
Um, I just, like I said, wow, I'm getting emotional already. I just feel like an imposter. I get a lot of compliments about myself and the qualities I have, but I don't see them. And I feel like they may abandon me like my father did.
Have you ever? Is your father, was he alive or is he dead?
He's alive.
Where is he at?
He always wanted
Where's
boys.
he at?
Well, he has he's not a very good role model himself, but he goes from woman to woman,
Well,
has
where's he
several
at?
kids,
But
but
where's he at?
he he's in the city, but
Chicago.
I don't know where he is. I can't,
Okay.
yes, but I
Listen,
can't
listen,
get
sis,
hold
sis,
of
sis.
them.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
Uh, Papa was Rolling Stone, right?
Yes.
Have you ever heard his side of the story from him?
Yes.
Okay. And what did he tell you?
He said that he always wanted a boy.
Okay. And your mother and your father obviously weren't married, right?
No, they were not.
Okay,
At
so
no
you
point.
were more or less, we call it a love child. Was he active? Was
Sure.
he active in your life at all?
Not that I could remember, but my mom said he was.
All right, so I'm gonna talk to this subject because I was even in this
Sure.
subject. Oftentimes, children have abandonment issues from fathers who, this is going to be hard to hear, but I've been in it.
Sure.
Fathers who never wanted to be fathers.
Mm-hmm.
So for your father to say he wanted sons, that's his truth. Did you ever ask your mother, Mom, why did you decide to go through with the pregnancy? And I said, and I tell you, no, you laugh, but I asked my mother this very question.
Mm-hmm.
I asked my mother this very question. My father has 13 children. I asked my mother this question. Why? Because we struggled growing up, and I saw a lot of stuff that I mean, obviously it wasn't ideal. And I asked my mom, why?
Mm-hmm.
And you got his side of the story, and you feel some kind of way about that, right? But
Yeah.
I would gather that you don't have any smoke for your mother.
I have smoke for both
Okay,
of them.
but have
not
you ever asked what? See, here's the thing. You're an adult now. Let me move on down this path. You know how relationships
Sure.
work. When you were a kid, you had no defenses against this. Now you see how this works. People like each other, hook up. One woman gets pregnant. Next thing you know, instead of having an abortion, she decides to have a baby with a dude she wasn't even with for 6 months, and then tries to make that dude be a father, maybe or maybe not. Then the kid has to suffer that. So it is
Sure.
not unusual to have abandonment issues, but the way in which you can address abandonment issues is to understand that your mama and your daddy would in today's climate, you see this all over. She shouldn't have made him a father, and she shouldn't have been a mother, because it's like my mother. I was like, why didn't we get on child support? Why we don't do all this? A lot of black mothers, I'm back out. This is going to be hard here. A lot of women wear a single mother on their chest like a badge of honor and don't realize what it does to the kids. So I need all you single mothers that I've talked to understand this is what I'm talking about. This is the fruits of you not thinking about putting a strong man in front of your child, backing up. We raise broken people. You raise weak boys and either masculine or very insecure women. And it sounds like you're an attractive woman on the outside.
Thank you.
But on the inside, you're a mess. And and it's not a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
What if you're actively working with a therapist? Kudos.
Thank you.
The man who proposed to you, how long ago was that?
This was February 2019.
Okay, where's he at now?
Still in my phone somehow.
There's a story there. Why did you gave the ring back?
Yes, I did.
And what was the reason you gave her?
I told him that I wasn't ready for a family.
And what did he say?
He said he understood because at that time, I was not hinting at marrying or anything like that, and he kind of did surprise me out of nowhere with it.
And are you guys still seeing one another?
We're not currently seeing one another. I've decided to be friends with
There's
him,
no
and
friend.
I think he's friends with
You
me.
can't be friends. What are you talking about? What the fuck you women think you can talk about? Men aren't
Okay,
toys.
so maybe he has.
Oh, let me back this up. Let me back this up. Are you friends with your daddy? Because he
No.
hurt you, right? Fuck
Yes.
you mean you gonna be friends with a man you broke his heart?
I'm sorry.
I get it, but I need you ladies to stop this.
Mm-hmm.
Which ultimately I was harsh because I need to get your attention. I had to slap you with what
Yeah.
you could understand so you could try to put yourself in his position.
Mm-hmm.
This man proposed to you in front of family and you embarrassed him. So you can't be friends with this guy. You don't even you need to
Okay.
go no contact because he's probably not
Okay.
strong enough to go no contact with you. But if you care about him at all, you need to go no contact with him.
Okay.
You can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. Whatever it is going forward, you got to stay in counseling. And
Yes.
trust me, people with issues get in relationships every day. But you're gonna have to be honest with that when you deal with somebody. You can't hide that,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to stay doing the work. How often are you seeing your therapist?
I see my therapist about once to twice a week.
And how long you been seeing
Can
your therapist?
5 months. Can I just make
Go ahead.
one quick comment since I see it in your
Uh uh
chat?
uh uh. Well, I don't care
Um
about the chat room. We don't do that.
okay, well can I just make a really quick comment?
Uh, Go ahead.
I didn't want to interrupt you, so I just was asking.
Well, see, the reason I don't want you, okay, I need you to pay attention to me, not the chat room. They don't count.
Okay.
They don't count. You
Okay.
don't know them people.
Okay.
They don't know you. They don't know what you look like. See, along with abandonment issues, there also tend to be approval issues on the other side.
Sure.
You know, daddy wasn't there, so I got to stay on mama's good side. So I got a good approval of other people. This is why you keep looking at the chat room. You care what they say, but you don't know these folks. If you've been going 5 months, 2 week, once you said twice a week,
Mm-hmm.
okay, then
Yes.
you got to continue to do that work. Are you actively? When do you plan on actively getting back out there dating?
Theoretically, when I feel like I would be a better product of society.
Well, that ain't never
So
gonna
I'm
happen,
really not.
really. I mean, no, that's perfection. Nobody's perfect. You are who you are.
Okay.
You came out of the factory the way you came out. But it's like, okay, think about it
Right.
this way. Let's say somebody who's an alcoholic or a drug addict. They get clean.
Mm-hmm.
Should they always live life like they were homeless, like they were still you got to move forward.
Sure.
But the question is, do you know how to date? That's one thing that's missing a lot with
Do you want
black.
my opinion?
That's a rhetorical question. With black folks, it tends
Oh.
to be missing. Dating simply means interacting with a man, going out, sharing some time, keeping it. There may be sexual tension, but not crossing the sexual line until you know you're ready to handle all that, but being very clear, not leading a man on.
Sure.
What I'm hearing right now is there's a lot of work, and at
Mm-hmm.
29, the best thing you're gonna if you, the best thing to do is stay in the work because I asked you why you want to be married, and there was nothing about the man, the kind of man, the caliber of man. You're just not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole other individual that goes along with it, and it's more than just being a beautiful woman uh, and having some babies.
I definitely feel like I have more to offer than just being beautiful. I think it's one of my least redeeming
But what I'm
qualities.
saying is, you're almost 30, right?
Sure.
So
Yes.
one thing that doesn't wives of high value men, because I'm assuming you're talking about a man who's making mid six figures, low to mid six figures.
Mhm.
Yes, no. Are you talking about a guy who's making eighty
Oh,
thousand
I
dollars a
didn't
year?
know that was a
Are you
question.
looking at a man that's making $80,000 a year? You're looking at a guy who's making around $350,000 a year.
The
Right.
latter.
Those men tend to marry feminine, beautiful, inspirational women who are cooperative and submissive. Those women tend to
Sure.
have been raised to be wives. That's
That's where I feel like I
well,
failed.
and and that's true. You weren't raised to be a white traditional wife. So
Mm-hmm.
the likelihood of you being in a traditional marriage is not high.
Sure.
So that means there's going to have to be something else in marriage. Going to get a high value alpha male, that kind of stuff. They got women who are raised that way. So this is where
Sure.
women start having to make I don't want to say concessions. And see, that's the bad word. We're not supposed to say compromise, but yeah, you're gonna have to compromise.
In what way?
Well, the same way he's gonna have to compromise dealing with you.
Sure.
I mean,
I guess I just wanted an example.
meaning maybe he okay. All right, here's a way. The man
Okay.
making that kind of money, he may have a child. He
Mm-hmm.
may have a child.
I love
Huh?
children. I love
Okay.
children. I've dated a lot of men with children.
He also, he may not be the best looking. He be above average, but he's not the best. He won't be Boris Kojo in that piece.
Understood. I don't care for pretty men.
So, and you be in order for any of us to have anything to work out, you're going to get 80% of what you want in somebody. Just like they're going to get 80% of you at best. And if a man is willing
Right.
to, if a man making that kind of bread is willing to deal with you, then you need to do whatever the hell you need to do to be willing to deal with him. That's why I asked you about your
Mm-hmm.
previous guy, because apparently he kind of knew all this stuff about you. How long were
Mm-hmm.
you guys together?
For 7 months.
7 months. And he wanted to, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes. I told you I feel imposter syndrome.
well, but at least you didn't, stay in the work.
You're right.
And like I said, compromises. You got a lot going on though. You got a lot going on. But here's the thing: if you don't stay doing the work, it's darn sure not going to work out. And
Right.
pretty women. You've been pretty your entire life, but that wall, sturdy, boom, and it has everything to do with a biological clock. After 35, it's downhill. So I would stay focused on doing the work, and then you got to get back out
Right.
there and start interacting with people while you have time. You don't have a lot of time from a biological clock standpoint.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
All right. Cool. Well, appreciate you calling in. These are getting more complex.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
bye-bye.
much. Bye.
See, 7 months. Yeah, 7 months. How long do you guys think it takes to get married, man? Look, high value men when they're ready to get married, it takes 6 months or less. 6 months or less. So if you're a man and you're like 6 months, you're not a marrying man. And if you're a woman, you heard that 6 months or less, you're not a marrying woman. 6 months or less. That's all it takes. Any more than that, y'all are just in the LTR. Let me see. Oh, let me see if this is who I think it is. Hello? I can donate. Y'all coming in here talking that crazy. Hello?
Hey Kevin, how's it going?
Hey. Who's this? Alrighty. Do. All right. Need to get that one up out of there. See, I need a lot of you guys to realize that 6 months is all you need to vet a woman. And y'all talk about, this is also something with pretty women too, man. Pretty women tend to get the benefit of the doubt, but you can't just go with pretty. I would say we all need to know what we're looking for. Start asking the questions that are important. But the question is, are women good at marriage today? Are women good at relationships? Even I can say relationships. I think there's an argument that can be made, ladies. I don't hear a lot of women who seem to be really good at relationships. Let me say one of the few questions when I ask, what do you like about men? Or why do you want to get married? And there's just this list of stuff that are just bullet points. I've said it before. You may love men, but you don't know us. You don't like us. Women who are good at relationships like men. They're the kind of women that most sisters hate. They're the ones that sit at the bar and they laugh and talk and smile and they put their hand on the man's shoulder. They're flirty. They're light. They're airy. I mean, and a lot of women aren't that today. A lot of women, you're just hard. Looking at, and you're not going to, and I'm going to tell you something. CIA men, Blake Henry, Blue Henry, Hit Squad dudes, you're not going to get over on that stuff on them. They're being well schooled, well taught. Well schooled, well taught to where you're not going to blink your eyes and switch your little skirt around and think that they're going to be like, oh, I can get a hold of him. I can get him up out of his wallet. No. It don't work that way. It don't work that way at all. And none of this stuff is a death sentence. But I would hope that some of you ladies are really doing the work. Are you doing the work with a therapist? Are you talking to a therapist? Because when I say these guys out here being schooled, they are out here being schooled. Kiss the ring. They get schooled by men. They are getting schooled. So the young lady, the 21-year-old. See, let me tell you guys how I know that she was full of it. Just like the other woman the other day talk about, there's a divine feminine and divine. Whenever people start using juxtaposition and I'm my suitors and all these words, the truth is simple. The truth is simple. And when I ask yes or no questions, when I ask very direct questions, and I get this convoluted around the way, I'm like, you're used to trying to bullshit people. And pretty women, attractive women, cute women are used to bullshitting people and letting people get lost in their eyes or their hips, their lips, or their honey dips. Don't work on me. Pretty ain't new to me. Pretty is an expectation to me. A lot of y'all ain't pretty enough if you real talk. Some of the women that are called in there thinking you so pretty, please. No. Knock it off. I mean, you're cute. I mean, but you're not a day walker. You one of them dry cleaning chicks. What? What's a dry cleaning chick? A dry cleaning chick. In by 9, out by 5. That's a dry cleaning chick. And one of the best things you can ever do with a woman who thinks she's up here is to really not get fazed by that. Because if she was really up there, she wouldn't be wasting her time. Which, honestly, you gotta ask yourself a question: where do you rank as a man? And if she's really up here, why is she wasting her time? Why is she dealing with you unless you're up there? All right, so at the end of the day, I think it's easy to say that I don't know what I've seen. There's definitely a case to be made for a lack of attractive women. The stats say 51% of black men are single and childless, and 64% are in the middle class. So if men are out there, they don't have to be, Elon Musk. But they have to be able to be competent and able to compete with their counterparts. Let me get on to this next point too. Why is marriage important? Why are relationships important? I need you guys to understand why this is important. According to a study published by researchers at Carnegie Mellon, people with supportive spouses are more likely to give themselves a chance to succeed. We found, let's see, we have found support for the idea that choices people make at specific decision points, such as pursuing a work opportunity, matter a lot to their long-term well-being. Many successful people have discussed the importance of having their spouse by their side throughout their career trajectory. Your mate chronicles your life. Single people have no one to chronicle their life. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg noted the vital role his wife Priscilla Chan plays in his life. The tech guru says Chan inspired him to volunteer his time and take on social work. Priscilla's the most important person in my life, so you can say it's the most important thing I've built in my time here. Like it or not, Beyonce says about her husband, rapper mogul Jay-Z, is extremely supportive and he helps me on so many levels. According to the study, there are 3 key steps one can take to push their spouse to embrace new opportunities. You know, that whole inspire piece, FBI. Express enthusiasm about an opportunity. Reassure your partner. And discuss the benefits of taking on a new challenge or role. Understand something, ladies. These are 3. Put this in your Rolodex, ladies. You want a Henry? Here's what you do. When was the last time you've been you can't stand Becky because when she talks about Brad, she gets excited about Brad. Yeah, my honey's up for a promotion at work and he's going to go and do this. He's excited about an assignment. And you need to be honest. When your boyfriend, what kind of girlfriend have you been in the past? When your man bring up a situation, you always want to shoot it down. Oh man, we got a whole story. We're going to talk about this. This is going to be the next show. Are you really cut out to be a spouse? Are you really cut out to be a wife? Are you really cut out to be FBI? See, you may be beautiful. You may even be able to get by on the feminine side, but are you inspirational? The inspirational part is where a lot of stuff falls apart. And I would be willing to bet I'm around this all back to, let's go back to the young lady who talked about her 23-year-old boyfriend wasn't buying her pumps and heels and dresses and nails and everything else because he was trying to get himself together and wasn't living up to her bullshit ass expectations because she ain't nobody's wife. The gold digger in training, that's one of those kind of women that would end up taking you for a ride if you let her. That's why I say, ladies, you ladies, I would say this. When you ladies spot women like these ladies, you need to point them out and say, that ain't me. I mean, listen to what that woman was saying. That female was saying. I don't give her the credit being called a woman. 21. Viper in training. And here's the thing, gentlemen. They're out there. I expect you know what I expect you to do? You need to be able to navigate that. You can't get mad that it's there. Snakes are in the jungle. You don't go, but if the opportunity's in the jungle, you don't avoid it because of snakes. All right. Let me get up out of here. It's midnight. I want to keep these shows at right around that time. Cool. Appreciate everybody joining in. Shout out to the CIA, One Love, FBI. Money means nothing. What are you talking about, Joe Curry? That's some broke talk. I don't know what the hell that means. Money means nothing. A woman's money means nothing. I hope that's what you mean. All right. Join my Facebook group, The Mix. Tomorrow night we have our mixer. We're joining in. We're watching Love Jones on the mix. Everybody can't get in the mix, guys. It's not a room for any of this gender war stuff. Over there, it's grown people. It's professional. If you can, it's professional people doing good stuff. There's some beautiful women over there too. Handpicking all of them. The conversation is completely different. Look, man, if you are, I'm not even gonna say it. There's criteria. You got to put your age, your current marital status, what you're kind of looking for. You got to have a picture. Yeah, not a place to come start a bunch of mess. And there's not a, and there are none of these men hating. No, that stuff. Those kind of females don't exist over there. Oh, well, money can be had or lost. So what is okay? Well, Joe, you go ahead and get up out of here. Joe, bye bye. Joe says money can be won or lost. So what does it mean? Nothing. Nothing. You right. Mm-hmm. Money can be had or lost. So what does it mean? Nothing at all. The world needs ditch diggers too. The world needs ditch diggers too. See, I need you guys to understand something. Stop trying to argue with folks like these guys like Joe. They make it easier for you to win, guys. Seriously. Any man that can come in and say money means nothing is a broke man. Is a broke dude. And that's cool. Everybody can't be on top. I have people come over to my show talking about, oh, the average person only makes this. What? I'm an image consultant. I service the top 20% of the economy. And that's what I'm supposed to do. What does a country club have need of an average person? Plastic surgeons, attorneys. I'm working the service economy. I don't work for the majority. It's the minority. You folks need to know where you are. You need to know where you are. That's what you need to. And see, for some reason, I tend to attract average guys who want above average results. No, you can't do that. You can't have it. You want average guys, you want above average results. Well, you can want it, but you can't get it. Why was your comment erased? Maybe because you said something crazy. But I expect to be dealing with men who are working 60 hours a week minimum that they're getting paid for. I expect to be dealing with men who want to make at least $120,000 annually for themselves. 10 grand a month. That's their goal. Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, Atlanta dollars. Adjusted for whatever city you live in. You live in New York, multiply it times 2.5. That's the barrier, guys. I target men who are 35 or up making $150,000 or more in my business. If that's not where you are, cool. But you don't shop. You don't need an image consultant. Or you may need one. Can you afford one? I don't get it. YouTube is an open place. But over here, I deal with high value men and women who want high value men. That is a choice. You don't have to be that. But what you don't get to do is change the rules. You don't get to change the rules just because it's something you want. That's what happens. And that's what it comes down to. What about those who live off assets? Anyway. If you really had assets, you wouldn't even ask that question. That's the ultimate point. I think ultimately, What I would say this is guys who have assets and truly have the wealth they're talking about, they know exactly who I'm talking to. They don't get upset. They don't get butthurt. The guys who get upset are the guys who want something, just like the women who get upset are the women who want men that they aren't hot enough for. I didn't make the rules. I didn't make human nature. We just follow it. But the rest of y'all is good. Ladies, gentlemen, peace. We are gone. Join me on Patreon for streams you will see only there Mondays, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Hit it up. Follow me on IG. Come into the frat room for stuff you'll only see over there. We get off the chain. You don't catch the streams then, you probably won't see them because they go away. So tell you. Thank you to the callers. Thank you to the participants. Good night.